Right, today this is consultation number 10, and this is shares. Now shares, as we know, what happens is company becomes quite successful and it wants to raise money to buy a new building, new shops, whatever. So it floats. The stock market works out how much it's worth, and it floats that many shares. Say for instance the company's worth £1 million, the shares are £1 each. They can sell 1 million shares to lots of people. Say they get £1 each. They've got £1 million to spend, and all the people who can afford shares tends to be the top 1%. I mean, we can afford shares, but chances of making anything are next to nothing. Yeah, so £1 million worth of shares. Everyone's got, so you could buy £1 share if you like. But it's not worth it because of all the fees and stuff you pay. So yeah, and they're all people with money to spare who can afford shares. So the company's got its money, it expands, hopefully the share price goes up, and when you come to sell your £1 share, it might be worth £1.50. Goes up and down the stock exchange. So next thing you know, big companies have got hold of these, and big investors, they've got the shares too. They can afford a broker who can sit at the computer all day long watching for what minute tenth of a penny increases or decreases, and they buy and sell all the time, and they're edging money out of the system. So when you sell yours, they get it. Basically, or rather, you haven't got the time to sit and watch, so you don't make any money, but they do. I've been quite lucky with shares because we had share saver accounts for 5 years, whereby they'd give you so many shares and you'd run alongside it in a building society a savings plan, and at the end of it, if the shares had gone down, you didn't buy them, you kept the money. If the shares had gone up, you paid for them at the same price they were 5 years ago, but made all that money. So I did quite well with those and sold things and bought cars and houses and all sorts. So I did quite well. So I can't complain. But when I came to Wales, I had 40,000 left, because houses are much more expensive in here than they were. Milton Keynes was, I bought my house for 24,995 in 1984. So that had made, I sold that for 70 something I think. So it all goes up. But when I got to Wales with nothing to do, I was looking after my mother, who's still with us, and basically had 40,000 left. So I opened a share account. I used to sit there watching the screen every time I went past it and have a quick look. And yes, I made the odd cash here and there. When it went up and down. Some of it got caught. Some of it was Woolworths, which I bought £5,000 worth of shares, and it decided it's going to go wrong, so it closed, and we didn't get anything back. Obviously, still got the shares, but they'll never be worth anything anymore. And so basically, that was it. Then there was the crash, so I had to sell all mine quickly, and I think on the whole lot I lost about 14,000, and then never bothered buying them back again, basically, because it never got better. So what I'm saying is, people with money can go and buy shares. People got money to spare, but the chances of you being able to beat the top brokers at the game is non-existent. So the consultation is, what do you think? There's no alternative to them really, because they bring in money for companies who need to do something, need to invest in something. So I think with our company, they'd shared it. They then became a PLC, so they all upped their wages. And basically got rid of it like that. And but when a company becomes shares based or on the stock exchange, other people can take over by buying the shares. So their share save scheme was a method of distributing the shares among all the employees, so that the big boys could buy big blocks of them at a time. So that works that way too, you see. So there's a lot of messing around and a lot of manipulation and things that I heard when I was a chauffeur that I shouldn't repeat, you know. Get people into trouble. Well, I expect most of them are dead now. But yeah. So that's shares. Now, are they a good idea? Has anybody got any? Have people lost or people made? I bought Eurotunnel shares. I bought £5,000 worth. I think they're worth 50 quid now. So, you know, what is going on with them? Do we know? Does anybody know anything? If they do, we need to know from brokers and people like that. Should, you know, do they put the price up of the goods that the company was selling because they're now a shareholder and need the dividends? And obviously the directors have got a bigger workload, so do they get more money because they have to talk to shareholders? I certainly did, and they certainly put their wages up. So yeah, all of that we need to know. I'll run this for 2 or 3 years and we'll see what people come up with. Now you can either comment or use, I'll put it shares at you can see that. I'll read it out anyway. Shares at project-x.org.uk, org.uk. And if there's anything on any of these consultations, just put the word of the consultation there, and then project-x.org.uk, and we'll see what we get. But you know, I was going to say I've not been hard done by, but poor people, I mean, we're poor now because I've been looking after my mum for 15 years. So basically we owe a lot of money and we're poor. But you notice I haven't asked you for any money, or what they call it, subscribe and all that. No, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. As long as you know where we are to look at the rest of the consultations. So yeah, that's it really. Thank you very much. That was a short one. Thanks a lot.